Trustee Abraham. Here. Trustee Chamalave.
Here.
Trustee Senior.
Here.
Mayor Thompson.
Here.
Trustee Shelby.
Here.
Trustee Armour.
Here.
Trustee Miller.
Here.
Mayor, we have a quorum. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Director Ames, we are started our regular board meeting, so can you please take your seat? Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'll read the Pledge of Civility. In the interest of civility, I pledge to promote civility by listening, being respectful of others, acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community, and understand that we each may have different ideas for achieving that objective. Now I will ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. Item 2 on the agenda is public comments. I have not received any. Mayor, have you received anything?
No.
Okay, so we'll move to item 3, presentation. Our first presentation is congratulations to the Delgado Law Group on their 25th anniversary.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I don't think my mic is on, Jason. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Nope. So I'll do my best to talk loud for those that, because we stream live. So I just wanted to recognize the Delgado Law Group for representing the Village of Broadview for the past 7 years. Mike Delgado has been a serving attorney for the past 25 years. And so in recognition of the service that he's provided to the Village of Broadview, he's done an amazing job for the Village of Broadview, and we just wanted to recognize the Delgado Law Group. So on behalf of Mike Delgado, Tiffany, will you accept this award?
Yes, I will.
Trustee Abraham, is there anything you would like to add?
Other than I want to thank you for their service and commitment to our community. Stay with us.
Thank you. Trustee Senior?
Thank you for the service. And you guys are doing an amazing job. And we need you, so continue.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Trustee Shelby?
Yes, thank you for your service. Congratulations.
Thank you. Trustee Armour?
Congratulations, Delgado.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
Nothing.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, next.
Mayor, if I may, I would just like to say
Yes.
thank you that it has been and continues to be our firm's pleasure to work with the Village of Broadview and to watch all the amazing things that this village has done. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Jerusik. Next on the agenda, Mr. Clerk.
All right, next on the agenda is item 4, communications. I'll read a few. Number 1, the 6th annual Broadview Community Garage Sale will be held July 20th at 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the parking lot on Roosevelt and 18th Avenue. For more information, contact Lily, who is the mayor's executive assistant, at 708-681-3600, extension 259. Next, Senior Bingo. This will happen Wednesday, July 31st from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. right over at Schroeder Park, 2600 South 13th Avenue in Broadview. This is a free senior event. Again, if you have questions or have comments and also need to RSVP with Lily, 708-681-3600, extension 259. And lastly, Tuesday, August 6th, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. is our National Night Out. This is an annual event with our first responders. Special guests come join us for a night of fun, face painting, food, magician, and more. This is going to be located at our Schroeder Park, 2600 South 13th Avenue. Thank you. That concludes our communications. Next, I believe we have a motion.
Yes, I have a motion. I would like to take the board meeting out of order so we can address items A and B under new business.
Before we take the items out of order to approve items A and B under new business, can we get the minutes approved first?
Yes, we can, Madam President.
Thank you.
So prior to that motion, I'm going to go ahead and skip to item 5, consideration to approve the following minutes. Minutes from the May 20th, 2024 regular board meeting, which were tabled from the last meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Senior, seconded by trustee Chalmalave. Madam President, open for discussion.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments? Thank you. Trustee Senior? Thank you. Trustee Chalmalave? Thank you. Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Thank you. Trustee Armour?
As long as they're the corrected minutes from May 20th. No other questions. I don't have any questions. I just had that comment.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Mr. Clerk?
Roll call, trustee Abraham. Yes. Trustee Chalmalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior. Yes. Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Yeah.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 6-0. Thank you all. Next, minutes from the June 3rd, 2024 regular board meeting.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Senior, seconded by trustee Armour. Madam President,
Thank you. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments about these minutes? No. Thank you. Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Thank you. Trustee Chalmalave? No. Thank you. Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Thank you. Trustee Armour?
No questions.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
No.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
yes, ma'am. Roll call, trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Yes.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 6-0. Thank you all. Now, at this point, we can entertain the motion to suspend the regular order of the meeting and go out of order to new business.
Yes, I'd like to make the motion to go out of order so we can address
Second.
two
Properly
items.
motioned by trustee Shelby, seconded by trustee Armour, I believe, to suspend the regular order of business and move directly to item 10A. I'll take a roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Yes.
And trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 6-0. We are now at item 10A. And that is the swearing in of probationary police officers Rodel Noriega and Jonathan R. Rigner. Need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Senior. Who made the second? Trustee Armour made the second. Madam President, open for discussion.
Thank you. Trustee Armour, you have any questions? Or Chief Mills, will you tell us about this, this swearing in?
Yes. Good evening, Mayor and trustees, everyone in attendance. So tonight I had the pleasure of swearing in two of our lateral hires. One is from Chicago, Officer Jonathan Richner, and one is from Park Forest, a Bellwood resident. Both these officers are certified. They come with great recommendations and a lot of experience in the field of policing. So this will give us a total of 6 new officers we added to the Village of Broadview.
Nice.
Last 5 months. The other 3, we have Hicks here and Portillo and Carmen sworn in last month. So
Right.
we were short a long time, but I see we're training up, like I said, on the 6 that you all approved allow us to hire. I think sky's the limit with the Broadview Police Department.
Thank you, Chief Mills. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments? Trustee Senior? No questions. Trustee Chalmalave?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions. Congratulations.
Trustee Armour?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
No questions. Just welcome to the team.
Thank you. So I will say that I saw the 2 officers at our Juneteenth celebration out in the community and interacting with our constituents. So it's a long time due to the Village of Broadview. The only thing that I have and the only directive that they will get from me is to make it home at the end of your shift, because the people that love you the most probably do not live in this village. So just make it home at the end of your shift. Do a good job for the residents that live here. We count on you and our business stakeholders and our visitors that travel in town each and every day, that you're on shift and that you're on duty. So thank you for your service. Chief Mills?
Okay. If we could have Officer Noriega to approach.
I gave it to somebody.
Can you please raise your right hand? Test, test. Can you repeat after me, please? I, state your name.
I, Rodel Noriega,
Having been appointed to the office of police officer
having been appointed to the office of police officer
in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois,
in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the Broadview Police Department
of the Broadview Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations.
Just a little information about Officer Noriega. He is a Proviso Township resident for over 20 years and been serving the public for more than 5. He initially served as a community service officer with Village of Bellwood prior to the role as a police officer. Where he was a recipient of an outstanding service report for going above the call. Officer Noriega is a certified juvenile officer as well as a drone officer, which utilize both certifications and training for a greater benefit for the Village of Broadview and neighboring communities. Officer Noriega continues to learn and grow as a law enforcement professional with an interest in utilizing modern law enforcement technology. Short-term goal is to be a member of a multi-jurisdictional team or task force and to be resourceful to the community. Thank you. At this time, Officer Jonathan Ridgener.
Okay, sir, can you raise your right hand and repeat after me? I,
Jonathan Ridgener,
having been appointed to the office of police officer
having been appointed to the office of police officer
in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois,
in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the Broadview Police Department
of the Broadview Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Oh, you're welcome, and welcome to Broadview.
Welcome to the team.
I can pretty much speak personally about this young man as I grew up. When I was 3 years old, I was a neighbor to his grandparents.
Oh,
His
wow.
father, and actually had the opportunity of commanding him while I was assigned to the 11th District, which was on the west side. And to come fast forward a few years later, he reaches out and expresses interest to come and join me here. And he comes with a lot of experience. I can personally say that the 11th District is by far the worst district in the city of Chicago. And the things he has seen and had to experience already with his 8 years of service there will be a huge value to the Village of Broadview. And I can honestly say, you know, we're talking to the man has fit in perfect with the Village of Broadview and the Broadview Police Department. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Chief, would he like to take a photo with his family before we?
Ryan.
So somebody got to make the motion to read. I mean, no, I got to read this proclamation. This one. I got the resolution. Family, if you would like to go join them out in the foyer, you're more than welcome to, but you're more than welcome to stay to attend the board meeting too. Okay, thank you. Where my pen at?
Okay, continuing on to item B of new business, a resolution celebrating the life of Wiley Bottoms.
I second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Senior, seconded by trustee Abraham. Madam President.
So thank you, Mr. Clerk. So this resolution is celebrating the life of Wiley Bottoms. He's turning 100 years old on July 6th. And so the resolution reads, whereas Wiley Bottoms was born on July 6, 1924 in Edgecombe County, North Carolina, and whereas Wiley Bottoms honorably served his country as a staff sergeant in the United States Army during World War II from 1944 to 1946 with a distinguished service in the Philippines. And whereas following his military service, Wiley moved to Chicago, Illinois in 1950 and subsequently settled at 1721 17th Avenue in Broadview, Illinois in 1982, where he has been a valued resident ever since. And whereas Wiley dedicated his professional life to the trade of auto body mechanics, from which he retired in 1982 after decades of committed service. And whereas Wiley Bottoms has been a loving father, grandfather, great-grandfather, and a great-great-grandfather, cherishing his family that includes 1 daughter, 3 granddaughters, 6 great-granddaughters, 1 great-grandson, 2 great-great-granddaughters, and 1 great-great-grandson. And whereas Wiley's life has been enriched by a host of friends, relatives, and neighbors who have been touched by his kindness, generosity, and spirited character. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the community of Broadview, Illinois, recognize and celebrate the remarkable life of Wiley Bottoms, expressing deep gratitude for his lasting contributions to his community and country, and extending our heartfelt wishes for his continued health and happiness. Be it further reserved that we extend our warmest wishes to Wiley Bottoms on the occasion of his 100th birthday, celebrating a century of life filled with remarkable achievements and profound contributions. Signed today's day by Mayor Katrina Thompson. And so the family have made arrangements to celebrate his life on his birthday, which is this upcoming Saturday at 5 p.m. I'm inviting all of the residents and the Board of Trustees to celebrate with us as we celebrate and honor Mr. Bottoms and his life legacy of 100 years old. This is the second 100-year resident that we've celebrated in the Village of Broadview, so I guess we got long life here.
Yeah. Where's that location there?
The address is 1721 Roosevelt Road. 17th Avenue, I'm sorry. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
Other than thank them for living in our community and being here and their great love.
Thank you. Trustee Senior? Okay. He has it. Thank you. Trustee Child Malave?
Happy birthday, and it's really nice to be able to celebrate our residents that way.
Yes. Thank you. Trustee Shelby?
Just happy birthday, and may God continue blessing him.
Thank you. Trustee Armour?
Happy 100th birthday.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
Of course, happy birthday, but if him or his family is watching, just give me the key to long life and hopefully long, healthy living. So that's That's what I need. So if you got the secret, pass it on.
Amen to that. Thank you, Trustee Miller. Okay, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, at this time, I will entertain a motion to return to the regular order of business.
Motion to approve.
Motion to return to the regular order of business.
Second.
Second.
Okay, there was a lot of seconds, so let's pick
I
one.
did that
Trustee
one.
Miller properly motioned to return to the regular order of business. Who's going to second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Armour. I'll take a quick roll call. Trustee Abraham? Yes. Trustee Chalmalave?
Yes.
Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Armour?
Yes.
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
And thank you all. This carries 6-0 to return to the regular order of business. So we are now at item 5. No, we are at item 6.
6, yeah.
Consideration to approve expenditures, grand total of all funds, $157,317.32 for the period ending June 17th, 2024.
Motion to approve. Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Abraham. Madam President?
Thank you. Trustee Shelby, will you please read the warrant list, the Finance Chair, Committee Chairwoman?
Okay, and I haven't had any reports from any of the trustees with any discrepancies, okay?
Okay.
So the vendors, AT&T, in the amount of $9,909.56. Exxon Enterprise Incorporated, $2,735.98. B&F Construction Code Services, $13,163.36. Comcast Business, $4,542.49. ComEd, in the amount of $3,816.09. Edwin Hancock Engineering Company, $66,106.23. Joseph L. Pensado, $4,290. Midwest Mechanical, $2,712.36. Montana and Welch LLC, $3,997.50. Mooney Webb, in the amount of $4,065. Tier-Point LLC, in the amount of $3,684.71. Verizon Wireless, in the amount of $3,235.04. Visit Oak Park, $5,000. Woodlake Occupational Health, $3,916. The total expenditures over $2,500 was $131,174.32, which is 83% of our total expenditures in the amount of $157,317.32. We also had some manual payments, and the vendors was Big Tent Events Incorporated. The date of the check was June the 3rd, 2024. Check number 86402 in the amount of $8,739.14. Burke Beverage Incorporated. Date of check was 6/3/2024 in the check number 86403 in the amount of $1,863.70. Easy Ice LLC, date June the 12th, 2024, check number 86406 in the amount of $245.50. Henry J. Brown Jr., date of check is June the 3rd, 2024, check number 86404 in the amount of $275. Then we have Precise Digital Printing Incorporated. The date of check was June the 12th, 2024, check number 86407 in the amount of $1,550. Precise Digital Printing Incorporated. Another check was, date was June the 12th, 2024, check number 86408 in the amount of $766. Then we have the Fun Ones. The date of the check was June the 3rd, 2024, check number 86405, in the amount of $3,658.58. And then we have Z-Bart of Illinois Incorporated. Date of checks June the 12th, 2024, check number 86409, in the amount of $700. And all these checks was for our Juneteenth event, and the amount was $17,797.92. Okay, the accounts that were affected by these funds were the general fund account in the amount of $85,210.10, the motor fuel tax fund in the amount of $20,246.09, the CDBG fund in the amount of $8,575. We have the 17th Avenue TIF North in the amount of $1,950. We have the Capital Projects Fund in the amount of $41,101.23. And then we have the Water and Sewage Fund in the amount of $234.90, again for a grand total of $157,317.32. And Madam Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
No.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave? No questions. Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
No.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave?
Yes.
Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Pardon me?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm looking at some numbers
Trustee
here.
Armour?
Yes.
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
And it carries 6-0 to pass the bills. Thank you all. Next. Consideration to approve expenditures, grand total of all funds, $1,388,698.83 for the period ending June 26, 2024.
Motion to approve. Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Chamalave and Abraham. Madam President, open for discussion.
Thank you. Trustee Shelby, the Finance Chairwoman, will you please read the warrant list?
Yes, again, as the other one, I had no reports from any of the trustees with any discrepancies. I look at vendors, are AT&T, in the amount of $6,429.62. B&F Construction Code Services, $23,384.67. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, $147,523.54. Broadview Westchester Joint Water Agency, this is two payments for 2 months, $650,363.22. David Ormsby Incorporated, $3,000. Delgado Law Group LLC, $12,333.75. Edwin Hancock Engineering Company, $19,635. Geno's Heating and Plumbing Incorporated, $17,569.60. Health Endeavors LSC in the amount of $3,029. Inverus Training Solutions Incorporated, $92,459.52. James Gerace in the amount of $10,000. We have Lincoln National Life Insurance in the amount of $6,363.70. M&J Asphalt Paving Incorporated in the amount of $334,102.50. Midwest 911 Incorporated, $3,022.51. National Hose Testing Specialty in the amount of $6,889. Paramedic Billing Services Incorporated, $5,809.28. Rush Truck Center, Chicago, $5,552.85. SBC Waste Solutions in the amount of $5,250. The total of expenditures over $2,500 came to $1,352,700 $17.76, which is 97% of our total expenditures, in the amount of $1,388,698.83. We had a couple of manual payments. It was the Lakeview Bus Lines Incorporated. The date was June the 26th, 2024. Check number 86471 in the amount of $450. We also had another payment of Valor Systems Incorporated. The date was June the 25th, 2024. Check number 86470 in the amount of $17,597, with the total manual payments of $18,047. And we also had an electronic payment, and the vendor was Chase Credit Card, and the payment was reflecting as of May the 25th, 2024, in the amount of $20,713.62. The following accounts are affected by these expenditures. We have the general fund account in the amount of $267,097.35. The garbage fund in the amount of $5,250. Roosevelt Road TIF fund in the amount of $343,794.32. And we also have the Capital Projects Fund in the amount of $104,444.52, and the Water and Sewage Fund in the amount of $668,112.64, again for a grand total of $1,388,698.83. And Madam Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Shelby. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments? Trustee Senior? Trustee Chalmalave? Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
Question. Did you get the email that the mayor included you on today regarding this warrant list?
Yes, I did.
Okay, you just read off all of the items that reflects, and the items that are over 2,500 for $1,406,745.83. I agree with that total, and that's the total that should be on the total expenditures on the warrant list.
Okay, well, those,
Because the total number of items over 2,500 plus the total under 2,500 plus the manual payments, all three of those total the $406,745.83. So I agree with that total, but let the record reflect that on the warrant list, the total number of expenditures should reflect that number. That's
okay,
all I
well,
have, that's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee Armour.
You're welcome.
Trustee Miller?
No question.
Thank you, Trustee Miller. So for a point of clarity, what Trustee Armour is talking about, if you refer to page 8 of the warrant list, it shows where the manual checks are included. The top sheet that you all get, that's something that we provide so that it's easier to read the 2,500 or more on the warrant list. So if you go to page 8 and you add up the numbers, you'll get the total amount. Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham? Yes. Trustee Chamalave?
Yes.
Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
yes.
Trustee Armour? Trustee Armour?
I will agree to the correction to the warrant list.
You have the warrant list. It's yes or no.
What is the bottom line that we're agreeing to, or that we're voting?
We're
on?
voting now.
Right, but
We're
as
voting.
to what amount?
We're-
That's
we're-
what I would, I
It was
just
read
need
into, it was
clarification.
read into the record. Please give your vote.
Abstain.
Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
Yes.
And Madam President, this carries 5-0 with one abstention, leaning towards the ayes. Next, item 7, application for the authority to expend funds totaling $1,869,613.04. We have 3 POs, purchase orders. We're going to take them individually, starting with the first one, Vermeer, in the amount of $81,441.34 for the Public Works Department. It's been properly motioned by trustee Senior, seconded by trustee Abraham. Madam President?
Thank you, Director Ames. Will you tell us about this purchase? Good evening.
Good evening.
So, the chipper is the apparatus that we pull behind one of the trucks to grind up the trees that we cut branches. So we chip them up in this piece of equipment.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
No, none.
Thank you. Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Thank you. Trustee Chalmalave?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee
No
Armour?
questions.
Trustee Miller?
No.
Thank you. So, Director Ames, before you leave, I have a question. When you chip the trees, what happens to the chips? Because we are in our environmental sustainability, so how are we disposing the chips?
We use it, we recycle.
Okay.
We got a big pile of mulch. Just like $105.
Okay.
We use that for new plantings and all that stuff.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave. Yes. Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Yes.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 6-0. Thank you all. Next purchase order, Cook County ETSB in the amount of $105,471.04. This is for the fire department.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Miller, seconded by trustee Shelby. Madam President?
Thank you. Chief Bryant, will you tell us about this purchase order?
Good
For the-
evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This is a budgeted, approved purchase for the fire department. This is in regards to the regional grant that we received last year, which was approved, accepted in October of 2023. It was a $1.6 million grant. Of that $1.6 million grant, the Broadview Fire Department is responsible for paying this amount of $105,000, and the purchase order was $105,471.04. And I'll entertain any questions you may have.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham? Trustee Senior? Trustee Chalmalave? Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
I got all my questions answered.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
No.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave. Yes. Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Yes.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 6-0. Everyone, thank you. Next is the third and final purchase order for the evening. Cook County ETSB in the amount of $1,682,700.66, again for the fire department.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Miller, seconded by trustee Armour. Madam President?
Thank you, Chief Bryant. Sorry.
All right, once again, this is in regards to the previous item we just talked about. It's the $1.6 million grant. All 9 departments, which are Broadview, Leiden, Rosemont, Schiller Park, Maywood, Westchester, Elmwood Park, River Grove, and Norwood Park. We're all responsible for a portion that we have to pay our share, and our share is $105,471.04, and other respective departments are giving us a check. We've received half those checks so far, and then we'll deliver those checks to our vendor to start the work on our new radios.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham?
No questions.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
I have all my questions answered.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
No questions.
So for the record, I will add this for the record, Mr. Clerk, what the amounts of each department is responsible for. So Leiden is responsible for $71,775.04. Rosemont is responsible for $411,602.90. Schiller Park is responsible for $95,897.85. Maywood is responsible for $48,582.60. Westchester is responsible for $74,650.60. Elmwood Park is responsible for $47,219.94. River Grove is responsible for $25,703.10. And Norwood Park is responsible for $86,650.20. Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave?
Yes.
Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Armour?
Yes.
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
And this carries 6-0. Thank you all.
Thank you. I do want the record to reflect that on October 16th, we had a regular board meeting to approve the MOU. Trustee Armour abstained from that vote, but she voted for the purchase order of this purchase, so thank you for your vote tonight. Mr. Clerk?
The record is noted. Thank you, Madam President. Next, excuse me, item 8, committee reports which are given at each first meeting of the month, starting with our Business License Committee. Trustee Armour.
Okay, I do have a report tonight. And I'm only going to give the portion of the Business License Committee. Commissioner David Upshaw will be comprehensively closing that report. But I just wanted to let everyone know that I am trying my best to serve the people of Broadview. The people of Broadview elected me as the business license, as the trustee, and I actually oversee the Business License Committee. I have been busy, I haven't been idle, I always do my homework, okay? Sometimes it might show, sometimes it might, you know, you might see some little bitty conflicts because I'm not perfect, right? I'm a human being. And I just want to thank the mayor for bringing all these things to our attention all the time. It helps keep me sharp. But on June, in the month of June, I actually attended the village's two-day comprehensive planning meeting in Naperville, Illinois. And I found most of us got together and we were discussing the 20-year comprehensive plan for the village. And it's a good thing to have a vision written down as to going forward, because without vision, the people perish. So I was blessed and grateful to be a part of that. Everyone wasn't there, but I thought it was a good meeting and something to sit in on. So, and then just last week, the National League had the National Black Caucus for Local Elected Leaders Summer Conference downtown in Chicago from June 25th through the 29th. And the most transformative thing that I learned for me was the targeted universalism by John Powell. He's an author, and he had a very encouraging discussion on encouraging us to engage and to include everyone. And he raised our awareness on how we could make people feel and how we make people feel. And that way they would be able to feel like they belong, or they would be put in this other category. And he also explained the different, like he really broadened it for us to think about the broad category of others, you know, making people feel like that they're not included. That's a major problem in our society, because we don't include everyone based on our biases, our own personal biases, or it could be a group biases where we're not including everyone. So I found it to be very insightful and very powerful, and the most significant part, one of the most significant parts of the conference, it was a great culmination with mobile tours in the downtown area. We also visited a company that specializes in echo or for building houses, and where there's a will, there's a way was an organization that stuck in my mind. I thought they're doing a good work. And then we had a mobile tour downtown, and it was just very insightful, and I'm glad that I attended, and I just wanted to give you that short report. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm happy you attended as well, Trustee Armour. Mr. Clerk?
Thank you. Next is Police and Fire Committee, Trustee Miller.
I think we've seen enough for the police and fire, at least for me. I had to wrap my head around how much we were spending, but I'm glad that we have grants and other ways to offset that, so I don't have anything major to discuss.
Thank you, Trustee Miller.
Thank you, Trustee. Next is the Finance Committee, Trustee Shelby.
A no report.
Thank you, Trustee. Next is Building and Public Property, Trustee Chamalabi.
No report today.
Thank you, Trustee. Next is Water, Drainage, and Health, Trustee Senior.
No report.
Thank you, Trustee. Next is Street, Sidewalks, and Alleys, Trustee Abraham.
No report.
Thank you, Trustee. Next, item 9, Old Business, we have none. Item 10, we're going to go straight to item C, since we've already covered A and B. Item C is the resolution authorizing and approving an agreement between the Village of Broadview and IDHS John J. Madden Mental Health Center regarding the provision of emergency fire protection and ambulance services by the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Miller, seconded by Trustee Chalmalave. Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Chief Bryant, want to tell us about this legislation?
All right, good evening again.
Good evening.
One of our many hospital contracts is Madden. Madden is one of them, and they're up for renewal. So what I did was I renegotiated the contract. It's going to be for a 3-year contract. For advanced life support transports, it's going to go from $1,250 to $2,000. That's like a 60% increase in our charges. Our basic life support transport is going to go from $950 to $1,250. And for our fire response to Madden, it's going to go from $1,500 a month to $1,800 a month. And I'll entertain any questions you may have.
Thank you, Chief. Trustee Abraham?
No questions.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave? None. Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
None.
Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Yes.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And it's carried 6-0. Thank you all. Next item D, a resolution authorizing and approving a contract with the Intelligence Group Ltd. for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Shelby. Madam President.
Thank you. So this was something that I've been looking into to bring a lobbyist, a federal lobbyist on board with the Village of Broadview, and it's actually included in our fiscal budget 25. So for the first time in our nation's history, the federal government has made it its goal at 40% of overall benefits of certain federal climate, clean energy, affordable and sustainable housing, and other investments flow to disadvantaged communities like Broadview that are marginalized and underinvestment in an overburdened pollution. The revital of our nation's commitment to environmental justice for all was in 2023. So what kinds of things fall under this, what we're asking the lobbyists to do? So we're looking at climate change, clean energy and energy efficiency, clean transportation, affordable and sustainable housing, training and workforce development, remediation and reduction of legacy pollution, and the development of critical clean water and water infrastructure. This is what impacts the Village of Broadview on a regular basis. Unfortunately, I cannot be in DC every day or every week to do this work for us. The cost of this consultant to come on board is $48,000. Again, it was included in our fiscal budget for this year. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
No questions.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave? No questions. Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 6-0.
Thank you.
all.
And before we move on, I just would like to introduce the consultant, Maze Jackson of the Intelligence Group. So thank you for taking the lead on this and helping us with these departments as we navigate. Director Hood has had, we've had multiple conversations like between us tag teaming these different departments, and he'll actually be able to meet with department leadership. And so even though we have our congressional leadership in place, we actually need to tap into department heads at a federal level so that we can move the needle a little bit further. And it's going to cover not just the things that I listed, but I've asked them to do some other things around housing, around public safety, and those things. So every month when he submitted an invoice, his report would be attached to that for you all to review and to question if you have any questions. So thank you, Mr. Jackson, for taking the charge and believing in Broadview to do this work. You're welcome. Do you want to say anything? Trustee Shelby just asked
No,
me.
I just didn't know if you wanted to make a comment.
You don't have to, you can.
I'll just say something very quick.
Okay.
Can't pass up the mic.
I'm a lobbyist. First of all, Mayor Thompson, thank you very much for the opportunity, and to the trustees, I am honored that you would bestow this level of trust on me, and I am excited to go to Washington, D.C. and to bring resources back. There is a huge federal push to make sure that communities like Broadview get resources, but it requires you to tap in, and I'm grateful for the mayor and the trustees giving me this opportunity. I will not let you down, and I look forward to bringing back the bacon.
Thank you.
And we look forward to
For the record,
receiving and
have your
cooking the
name?
bacon.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Okay, Mr. Clerk. Sure.
I want to thank the board for doing this. As someone that has not done a lot of grant management in the past, the complexity right now, for those of you that don't know, we have a federal grant from the USDA. We have the
Clean
grant we're
energy.
talking about for the fire department, which is FEMA. We have a grant from the Department of Energy. So those three alone are $2.5 million. And even though we say federal government, they are nothing alike, and they don't even use the same systems, and it is very complex. And it would really be helpful to have someone to walk us through the processes, because each agency is so different. It's mind-blowing sometimes.
Thank you. So, Mr. Jackson, that's our finance director. All right, Mr. Clerk. Thank you, Director Hood.
All right, thank you. Next is item E, a resolution with the Illinois Department of Transportation for improvement under the Illinois Highway Code, improvements to Erica Drive and Summerdale Drive.
Motion to approve.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Abraham, seconded by trustee Senior. Madam President.
Thank you, Director Ames. You want to tell us about this project?
Well, get up here so I can be heard. Mayor, this resolution is something that has to be passed because we're looking to expend funds out of the MFT fund account for some street resurfacing over in the Beverly area, so.
So just for a point of clarity for the trustees on the next line item, this is the first step to approve this resolution. And so the expense amount for the funds is $658,316.45, which will be the cost in the next item that you all will be asked to approve. So, Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
No questions.
Trustee Senior? No questions. Trustee Chalmalabi? Trustee Shelby?
You said this, it's going to be $658,000.
$316.45.
Okay, is that coming from a grant or?
No, that's our MFT funds.
Oh, okay, that's right, okay.
Any other?
No other
Okay.
questions.
Thank you. Trustee Armour?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Yes.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 6-0. Thank you all. Next, item F, a resolution awarding an agreement for the 2024 MFT paving improvements project to Narduli Construction Company, Inc., after competitive bidding for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
It's It's been properly motioned by trustee Abraham, seconded by trustee Senior. Madam President.
Director Ames, you want to tell us about this one?
Mayor, I believe you covered it quite well. So,
Okay, trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
No questions.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee
No
Armour?
questions.
Trustee Miller?
No.
Mr. Clerk?
Roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Yes.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And it's carried 6-0. Thank you all. Next item, G, a resolution authorizing and approving an agreement with Edwin Hancock Engineering Company for certain design and construction engineering services for the MWRD Green Infrastructure 17th Avenue and Lexington Street parking lot improvements for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Abraham, seconded by trustee Senior. Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Before I ask, go ahead, Director Ames, tell us about this project.
Mayor, I can defer to you.
Okay, so this is a typical agreement that we received from Hancock Engineering. For the design cost is $34,600, and for the construction is $40,295. This contract is total amount $74,895. Is there anything else you want to add, Director Ames?
No, Mayor.
Thank you.
think that
Trustee
covers
Abraham, you have
everything.
any questions or comments?
No questions.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
Is this the lot, like, right across the street on 17th from the liquor store?
That's correct.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
So the additional $7,350, what is that? I mean, I see the breakdown, but why is that not included in the agreement amount?
Can you be more specific, trustee?
It says estimated sub-consultant fees for there's 3 items, and then it says $7,350 with asterisks that it's not included.
So
in
that's
it.
for the soil borings, the infiltration testing, and the QA materials testing.
Which would be subcontracted out by Hancock Engineering. So,
So we'll be looking at an additional 7,000?
no.
Then that's not.
No, we will not. The total contract is as stated. The subcontracting work is itemized in what Hancock is explaining to you what the itemized bill would look like. So no, to your question, will we receive an invoice from the soil or the environmental company outside of the total here? No.
And on page 11, it's got an asterisk that say these sub-consultant fees are not included in the upper limit of this agreement.
Right, I saw that, that's why I called that out. So my question is, will we be looking at an additional $7,350 outside of the $74,895?
No.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Yes.
Trustee Miller.
Yeah, for the 74,000.
$74,895.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Clerk, next.
Did you give me a vote?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, trustee. This carries 6-0. Thank you all. Next, item H, motion to establish consent agenda to include the following items. All items on the proposed consent agenda are related to the rehabilitation of the Public Works facility. I'm going to read each of these items in for the record, and then we'll have a vote. I'll need a motion. So, item 1, a resolution awarding an agreement for replacement of a flat roof on Public Works building to Darden Construction, Inc. after competitive bidding for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois. Number 2, a resolution awarding an agreement for carpentry work to Darden Construction, Inc. after competitive bidding for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois. Number 3, a resolution awarding an agreement for the replacement of windows and doors to Darden Construction, Inc. after competitive bidding for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois. Number 4, a resolution awarding an agreement for brickwork to Darden Construction, Inc., after competitive bidding for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois. Number 5, a resolution authorizing and approving a contract and rider with CDB Electrical LLC for data rack and surveillance equipment for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois. Number 6, a resolution authorizing and approving a contract and rider with CDB Electrical LLC for the certain repairs and improvements related to LED lighting for the Public Works Facility for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois. Number 7, a resolution authorizing and approving a contract and rider with CDB Electrical LLC for certain repairs and improvements in the break room of the Public Works Facility for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois. Number 8, a resolution authorizing and approving a contract and rider with CDB Electrical LLC for certain repairs and improvements related to the electrical and data wiring of the Public Works Facility for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois. Number 9, a resolution authorizing and approving a contract and rider with Geno's Heating and Plumbing, Inc. for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois. And number 10, a resolution authorizing and approving a contract and rider with Train US, Inc. for certain HVAC repairs and improvements of the Public Works Facility for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois. Need a motion for this consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Shelby, seconded by Trustee Senior.
And just to clarify, Clerk, I believe Trustee Shelby, I think that you meant to make a motion to establish the consent agenda, because the way a consent agenda works is first we need to do a motion to establish the consent agenda to include all the specific items, then do a motion to approve. So is your motion to establish it to include
Yes.
items H1 through H10?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that clarity, Attorney Jaworski. So now, Madam President, would you like a roll call to establish the consent agenda?
Or all in favor?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay.
I
Hearing
have a
no-
question.
No opposition. We have established the item H, the consent agenda. And now everything has been read into the record, so we're going to move right to item I. And I'm asking for
No,
a
we didn't
motion
vote
to
on-
approve.
We didn't vote on it. Hold on, we didn't vote on it, we just voted on the consist.
Yeah, that's item I.
No, a motion to approve, we just did that.
No, we established it on item H. I read
Correct.
everything into record, and now item I will be to approve all items that are
Oh,
read
so,
into
okay,
record.
you're right.
So at this time, I ask for a motion to approve all items on the consent agenda as established.
Motion to approve.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Abraham, seconded by Trustee Senior. Madam President, open for
Thank you.
discussion.
Before we move on to the discussion for the Public Works, well, I will ask Director Ames to go into the extent of work that needs to be done. But the total amount for these items, 1 through 10, came up to $849,271.62. The number 1 that the clerk read, and that is for $82,800. Number 2 is $189,500.
Can you slow down, please?
Number 3 is $85,650. Number 4 is $129,875. Number 5 is $22,137.60. Number 6 is $29,642. Number 7 is $8,900. That was number 7. Number 8 is $48,528.02. Number 9 is $179,600. And number 10 is $73,439 for a total of $849,271.62. This funding that we received from the Illinois Department of DECO, we received $2.5 million from the state of Illinois to cover this cost of all of these expenses. So this money is not actually, it was budgeted in our capital budget, but the money is coming through a grant that we got from Department of, from the state of Illinois. Director Ames, would you like to tell us about the work that's going to be done at the Public Works Department?
Yeah, Mayor, I would like to talk about the work that's been done. The Public Works facility was built back in the 60s. It had an addition put on in 1974, and there's been no significant upgrades or renovations to the building since then. So I know since my tenure, the department has struggled to maintain proper heating and cooling zones, leaky roofs, and everything that goes along with an outdated and neglected facility. So the intentions is to renovate every aspect of the public works facility, from the roof to the plumbing, to the electrical, to the brick facade, to windows, doors, electrical data upgrades, all of the things necessary to bring it up to the 21st century and try and provide a safe and comfortable environment for the employees down there. That's the scope of work and what we're looking to accomplish. What I will say before we go any further, Mayor, Trustee Armour did, and Trustee Miller pointed out an oversight, probably on my department's behalf. So I believe one of the totals that you have is incorrect to the tune of $29,640 something odd dollars. I believe you've got, and Trustee Miller, please, I don't have the documentation that was sent to you guys. If you can pull it up and point out exactly what we discussed prior to the board meeting, that would help.
Can you verify the amount for item 8? That's all I need.
The total was, you had two invoices. One was $15,377.55, and the other one was $33,150.07, for a total of $48,528.02.
Right. Now, Mayor, if I can, so the $33,000 is the revised total for the $29,000.
$29,642 in
That's
item
correct.
H6.
So the $29,000 in essence should not be included because it's a duplicate contract for the $33,000.
So then we need to make a motion to take item 6 out.
Is that item 6, Trustee Miller?
It's 6, yeah, it's item 6.
Okay.
But if we take it out, then we don't have a motion for the $33,000 to be included, unless we can run the
Well, you can
remove
remove items from the consent agenda if necessary. So we can remove that and just deduct the $29,000 from the $849,271.
There is no more additions. You know, to your point, we need to take out the duplicate, which amounts to $29,645,000, I believe, is what you all said.
29,642.
642. Outside of that,
So the new total would be $800,019,629.62 minus item 6, which was the total amount of $29,642. So we need to make a motion to approve the items to remove from the consent agenda. Is that correct, Ms. Attorney?
So if I'm understanding, item 6 is no longer necessary because it's included in a separate
It's a
quote?
duplicate.
it's included in the second.
Included in item 8?
That's right. It's included in the $33,000 total, which is, I believe, item 8.
Okay.
Right, that's correct.
So my recommendation in that case would be to do a superseding motion to establish the consent agenda to include items 1 through 7, 1 through 5, and 7 through 10. And that would be the superseding motion, so we'll need somebody to make that motion. You can second that, and that can be a voice vote. And then the motion would be then to approve those items. And then since 6 is no longer necessary, then after that, we should do a separate motion to
Strike it.
either table or deny 6. Or, I mean,
Can we strike it?
You can strike it, yeah. You can do a motion to strike, that's fine.
I'll make a superseding motion to run a consent agenda for items 1 through 5, as well as items 7 through 10.
Second.
Okay, great. It's been properly motioned by Trustee Miller and seconded by Trustee Armour to include on the consent agenda items 1 through 5 and also 7 through 10. We are excluding item 6. I'll take a roll call for that portion right now only. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chamalabi.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Yes.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And it carries 6-0 to only include items 1 through 5, 7 through 10 for the consent agenda.
That's correct.
Now,
And now you need a
Okay,
motion to
now,
approve.
now we're gonna vote on the motion to approve.
Motion to approve the consent agenda for 1 through 5, as well as 7 through 10.
Second.
Been properly motioned by trustee Miller, seconded by trustee Abraham to approve items 1 through 5 and items 7 through 10 on the consent agenda. I'll take a roll call.
Before you take a roll call, the total amount for those items that's read into the record is $819,629.62.
Thank you. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Mr.
that
Clerk.
clarity for the record, Madam President. Roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Can you repeat that amount, please, the new amount?
$819,629.62.
Yes.
Thank you for your yes vote, trustee Armour. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And Madam President, this carries 6-0 to approve the consent agenda.
Mayor, may I make a post comment? Now, first off, I want to thank the board for noticing the oversight on our part, and most certainly working together to get this approved tonight. So I know that we're in the summer hours, and of course, what we did do was try and make sure that we get the project started. So there will be 2 additional contracts coming at a later time, and it's for the overhead doors, which is not listed on here, and also for the refurbishing of the floors. Those are items to be completed and lastly during the construction phase, so there was no urgency to place before you, the board. So I think we should be okay if in fact we get everything together and get it before you for the anticipated August board meeting. So I just wanted to add that.
No,
Okay?
you're welcome. When should the project be completed?
Quite honestly, Mayor, I think we're going to be rolling into the wintertime with this
Okay.
one, just because of the late
The
start. And I
timing.
know that we've got some lead times on material ordering for at least 3 or 4 weeks for certain trades. So yeah, we'll hope to wrap it up before the end of fall, but in all likelihood, we may extend.
Well, that would be good for us to know when the project is going to be completed so that we can invite the community to come see the new approved facilities that the board has approved tonight.
Oh, y'all didn't see the 10-foot wall we're putting up?
I don't know
Most
what you
certainly,
said,
man. We
but-
would most certainly welcome the public. I say that facetiously, but yeah, once the project is completed, and we'll keep you abreast of the timeline and all of the other good stuff. But those trustees that chair the committees for Public Works, please stick your head in, and maybe you can help provide an update as well. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Clerk.
All right, thank you all. Because we approved all items on the consent agenda with the exception of item 6, which has been stricken, item J is not needed. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So we want to make J the motion to strike? Okay. So item J, we're going to ask for a motion to strike item 6, which is not needed for the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to strike item H6 from the agenda.
Second.
Been properly motioned by trustee Miller, seconded by trustee Abraham to strike item H6 from the agenda. I'll take a roll call. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave?
Yes.
Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Armour?
Yes.
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
And I carry 6-0 to strike item 6 from H. Thank you. Next, item K, consideration of an application for a business license requested by Chicka Wolf at 2121 West Roosevelt Road, Suite B, to operate in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion?
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Senior, seconded by trustee Armour, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Commissioner Upshaw, you want to tell us about this business?
Good evening, Mayor, Board, residents, and everyone in attendance. Chicka Wolf LLC will be located at 2121 Roosevelt Road, Suite B. They have passed all of their inspections, and the nature of the business is a dog grooming business / salon offering personalized services, bath, nail trimmings, and things of that nature. At this time, I'll entertain any questions that the board may have.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham?
No questions.
Trustee Senior? Trustee Chamalave?
No question.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
Chicka-woof. I think that's a very unique name. I like it. That's all I've got.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
Are they currently approved for a business license or already operating?
They are, they currently are not approved for a business license. A temporary business license was issued so they can start moving their stuff in.
So they have a temporary business license to
Yes.
operate? Okay. I thought I saw them already open. Thanks.
Thank you. It's good to see the diversity on the Roosevelt Road corridor with different types of businesses, so I like that a lot. Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave?
Yes.
Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Armour?
Yes.
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
And Madam President, this carries 6-0. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Next item, L. Consideration of an application for a business license requested by Terrific Tots Home Daycare at 3028 South 24th Avenue to operate in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Been properly motioned by Trustee Chamalave, seconded by Trustee Abraham. Madam President?
Thank you. Commissioner Upshaw, you want to tell us about this business?
Yes, Terrific Tots Home Daycare. It is a home business located at 3028 South 24th Avenue. Home daycare provides for children between 6 weeks to 13 years of age. They are compliant with all village codes and inspections. Also, they have their state license as well from the Department of Children and Family Services. I'll entertain any questions at this time.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham?
No questions.
Trustee Senior? Trustee Chamalave? No questions. Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Mr. Clerk?
Roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Yes.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 6-0. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Board.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Next is item 11, Village Clerk's Report. I'll keep it real short. We are down to one meeting per month through our summer schedule. So the last time we met was June 3rd, and the Juneteenth celebration that we had not happened yet. But what a wonderful celebration we had this year. It was a wonderful event because of so many people on our committee that made it happen. And each year we fine-tune it, tweak the screws, and make it that much more of a fun event for the residents and everyone that attends. So I can gladly and proudly say that I didn't witness any incidents, negative incidents, any fights, any killings, any lost parents, etc. But we had a wonderful time. All of the acts were great. The fireworks show was phenomenal. And I'm really looking forward to our 5th annual celebration in 2025. So if you haven't seen it yet, you got to come out. You owe it to yourself and your families to check out Broadview's Juneteenth celebration. And that concludes my report, Madam President. Next is item 12, Village President, Mayor Katrina Thompson.
Thank you, and good evening to those that's streaming live with us and to the Board of Trustees and community. So June has come and gone, and now it's the 4th of July. Look how fast that time went. The village offices will be closed on the 4th of July. Please be mindful that our veterans and pets during the celebrations. The loud noises from fireworks can be distressing for many, so let's show consideration and a safe and enjoyable holiday for everyone. The Village of Broadview do have a firework ordinance in place, and messaging will be out on social media or through an email blast, so just pay attention to the information that's coming out of the police department. We will hold all violators accountable. The tickets are $750 if you are caught violating that ordinance. The law enforcement torch run that was last Saturday, I just want to say thank you to the residents that came out and stood on the corner and waited for us to run past them. You know, thank you to the fire department, our police department that participated in the run, and all of our Special Olympians that participated. Even though they didn't run or walk, they were on back of trucks safely participating in the celebration for the torch run. So I'm happy that we support our Special Olympians in the Village of Broadview. Also on this past Saturday, we participated in the 7th annual breast cancer walk. for our former village clerk, Sharita Lyles. On the day of the walk, she had treatment that Friday, and she had to go for some type of shot that she needed for her treatment on Saturday. So she arrived a little bit late, and she was tired and exhausted, as you can imagine, going through the treatment. But I think it warmed her heart to see the residents show up for her. The clerk was there, Administrator Jones was there, Chief Bryant showed up for her. So, you know, Trustee Senior was there as well. So just putting that love and kindness around when our residents are going through a trying time in their life. And also Miss Linda Spivey, who's she walks with us every week. She's a survivor of breast cancer. So if it's little things that we can do to support our residents as they go through the health situations that come up for them, and we can support it. We are selling the Broadview Strong T-shirts with the Team Sharita, so even though you can't walk or you participated, part of those proceeds go back to the Pink Jensen organization that hosted the annual breast cancer walk, which was in Berwyn. I do want to take a moment to talk about the Juneteenth. So this was our 4th year celebrating Juneteenth, and over the course of the 3 days, we probably entertained between 45 and 5,000 people that came to Broadview Juneteenth. And we had people that came from all over our region to celebrate with us. I'm very proud of the Broadview Police Department because we had no incidents. We didn't have to put anybody out. It was no disruption. I think people had a good time. I think Trustee Miller, she had vending that day. I hope she did very well in her sales on that day. You know, some people just want more. And but it was just good to see all of the trustees out celebrating. And sometimes when we do community events, we don't have the full board celebrating at any given time, but it was good to see them interacting with the community, the police department interacting with the community. And I've gotten so many responses from the residents saying it was good seeing our police department in full force, because typically we do hire extra security just because of the nature of the event. But to see your own uniform officers in place, that provided that extra layer of security that we all want and need in the Village of Broadview. So kudos to the Broadview Police Department. You kept us safe. We had nobody had heat exhaustion or any of that thing, so the fire department played their role. Public Works did their role as it relates to making sure debris and it was clean, and it was just a really good time. The building department, their team was out there transporting the seniors or whoever needed rides on the golf course and stuff like that. And of course, Lily and Administrator Jones, you know, they kind of manned all of the activities with the children and stuff. And so this year, typically, in the past, we've sold wristbands for the kids to participate in the Kids Zone. This year, we did that. That was a complimentary or something that we added to that. You know, the expense that we had, because people come with their children and they want to have a good time too. And so we just made sure, the committee made sure that came up in the committee, and we was able to pull that off with our sponsorships. I want to thank all of our sponsors, all of our volunteers, but I have to give a big shout out to my sponsor of the event, Clerk McGreer, because he held down the stage for us and kept the flow of music going with Maisha Owens. Yes, honey, she's just a whole ball of energy. And it's infectious in the Village of Broadview of what she presents to us. I mean, words can't really articulate how I just love her and her energy and how she's so community. And she wants nothing but the best for the Village of Broadview. So kudos to all those that participated. Next year is our 5th year, and I just think like how fast time has flown when we first started Juneteenth, when Trustee Miller, you know, hosted the first Juneteenth, and you can actually see the growth of our event, of like the vendors' participation, the volunteers. We had so many residents that called that wanted to volunteer. We had over 70 volunteers that helped us pull this off. And we cannot do it without the partnerships and collaboration of Lindop School, the Broadview Public Library, and in the Park District, in Broadview Park District. We all use our own resources to put it off, and we've asked every partner to put up $10,000. Lindop, the Park District, and the library, they made the commitment to put up that money because it's all of our tax dollars, and we need that support. This event cost us over $100,000. And so through sponsorships, those types of partnerships that we have, we're able to deliver on what the residents have been asking for so many years in the Village of Broadview. So I am a proud mayor. I am. It really pleased my heart to see everybody come together and work together, and it's not contentious. It was all in truly love and kindness, and that was exhibited, and that's what our visitors felt, that this was the best, one of the best Juneteenth that we have in our region. And we're blessed because we're the first that do a 3-day celebration. We're the first, and now we see in other communities do it, like Westchester. They did the Freedom Walk, and then they had a celebration following that, and the speaker has his annual Juneteenth Father Day celebration. But we're in 4 years, they 3 years, so they'll never be able to catch up to us. So that means our work must continue on as we celebrate and talk about what Juneteenth means to African Americans and how we include all races into our culture to educate and inform them on what it means to us. And for so long, I felt like we've been silenced. But having these Juneteenth celebrations, we're bold, we're courageous, we're resilient, and we know we have a lot of education to do in several of the many communities that's in the state of Illinois to get them to even recognize who we are as a people. And we're black and we're proud. And I will never negate from being able to say, I am black and I'm proud. And you all on this board, you all make me proud. Because if it wasn't for you all, we wouldn't even be able to do initiatives like this. So I'm grateful for your friendship and your leadership. And thank you, Mr. Clerk, for holding it down.
And you know who else had a good time? The cicadas.
Oh, they did? They didn't bother me.
They were jamming up there on the sound stage.
See, we brought it. We brought the cicadas, and everybody had a party.
They didn't even stop us.
No, they didn't stop us, but it was a good time had by all, and we have many more things that's going to be coming, up. The clerk has some things that's coming up, so I hope the board can participate. Our next board meeting is August 5th. I'm not anticipating on a heavy agenda like this one, but we got through it, and for me, it was just easier for us to just get it out the way instead of calling a special board meeting, because summertime is very busy for all of us, and we like to have a good time. So we just ask the residents to bear with us as we go through, some of these long meetings with agenda items, but I don't anticipate August being as heavy as July. So thank you all for your patience, and I just want to say I'm just glad to see everybody up on this diocese tonight, because we haven't had that in a long time. Somebody, can y'all take our picture? So I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
Second. A motion to adjourn.
Oh, one more thing before we adjourn. The Village of Berkeley is celebrating their 100th year, and then I'll send out communication as it relates to this. It's on August 11th. They're going to have a parade, and they're asking for us to participate. So I'll send out more communication around celebrating 100 years of the Village of Berkeley. So now I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Miller, seconded by Trustee Armour to adjourn this evening's meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, we are hereby adjourned at 9:02 p.m. Thank you all. Have a great evening.